on. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back after some few technical hitches here and there, but on the table we have Regan Ongombe taking on Patrick Gadua aka Mrefu. These are two players of contrasting styles. Regan Ongombe is a well-seasoned player, but in Patrick Gadua, you wouldn't write him off. But without fear of contradiction, I would love to believe or to say Regan has the beating of Patrick. That is without fear of contradiction. But having said that, Patrick is an unpredictable player, but by Regan standards, he should be able to overcome the test. And we've witnessed three international players, taking down Kenyans. Eric Koech taking down LT. Moses Mofia taking down Lusaka. And Ishmael Mutetwa taking down Joshua. That's an excellent shot by Peter Gadua, aka Mrefu. He seemed to be fired up for this one. Another great shot. Lovely. Good positional play from Peter Gadua. And he takes an early lead. Patrick Gadua 1. Regan Ongombe 0. Mrefu draws first blood. It's a race to 5, ladies and gentlemen. It's a race to 5. Still early days in the tournament. And this is the first round. Round of 256. This is the second round, sorry. It's round number 128 players. After this round, 64 will be out. 64 proceed. Regan to break. Regan breaks. And it's a dry break. Open table. It's a dry break from Regan. Can Mrefu take advantage? And pile more pressure on Regan? Mrefu shooting some good pull. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrefu is fired up for this. He's playing some lovely shots. Seems to be fired up for this. And he opts for safety, and I would love to say, by the standards of the players we have in the tournament, that should have been a reverse dish, as we call it. Whoa, Regan misses a somewhat easy shot. And the more he misses, the more confidence he hands over to Mrefu. And Mrefu seems to be fired up for this match, shooting some good pull. What I would say about this type of matches At times, decision making, precision, temperament, they'll decide the match. Still early days, but you don't want to be handing over frames to your opponent. Another good pot, but Mureph wasn't sure about the white ball. His position on play is questionable, ladies and gentlemen, by the standards we're witnessing in the tournament. Another good pot. Does he has the black? Can he see it? By his borderline, Murefu pots the black. And he seems geared up for this match. He is leading. He extends his lead to 2 frames. It's Murefu 2. Regan 0. This is frame number 3. We're headed to frame number 3. We've just witnessed one of the favorites in Ishmael Mtetwa running riot against Joshuayo from Migori. Pole sana Joshuayo. Better luck next time. Frame number 3. Patrick Gadua to break. Gadua breaks, and it's a foul break. He scratches on the break. As we all know in blackboard rules, that is a foul break, and the opponent has 2 visits on the table. First one is a free shot. By the way Regan is shooting, I can tell he's rattled. He is rattled. By his standards, he is rattled. But he should keep it cool. Still early days. He's capable of mounting a good comeback. And he opts for the reds. And by the layout on the table, I don't think he has a clear shot on any other red. Let's wait and see. As they say, there's always a shot. You just have to find it. As you all saw, he never had a clear shot on his desired balls, the red balls. Mrefu on the table. Mrefu, I can say, is really geared up for this. Mrefu shooting some good pull. In case you're joining us, ladies and gentlemen, it's Patrick Gadua, aka Mrefu from Nakuru, taking on Regan Ogombe from Kisumu. And in the meantime, Patrick Gadua has a 2-0 lead, courtesy of some good shooting. Boro. Referee opts for safety. And Regan caught somewhat a tricky shot. He will need a lot of thoughts to get his confidence back if he is to get something out of this match, which we know he's capable of doing. But in the meantime, he's being forced to lean back. Ladies and gentlemen, Regan under pressure. He is not shooting. I think he is rattled. And Mrefu is taking advantage of... there's something I must comment about Mrefu. His position of play is not up to the standards, but sometimes they say and maybe that is a let off from Mrefu. And ladies and gentlemen, wow, I can't believe what I'm watching. By his standards, is nowhere near the required standards in today's matches. And Regan Ogombe will have to up his game, or else Mrefu is going to run away with this and early enough. Whoa. What are we watching, ladies and gentlemen? Mrefu fouls in what was to be a straightforward frame for him. Given by his standards, he should be able to bring this one home and have the deficit. And not the best of positional play from Regan. Still work to do. And he almost missed the block, but he pots. And maybe that is the morale booster he needed. It's 2-1 to Patrick Gadua, aka Mrefu. But I would love to say that is a frame he should have easily won. Sometimes in these type of matches and tournaments, you'll have to take your chances and grab the chances with both hands. It is Regan Ogombe 1, Mrefu, aka Mrefu 1. Regan Ogombe 1, Mrefu 2. Regan breaks and he puts on the break. Let's see what he can do after this break. gentlemen, I can tell Regan is not shooting by his standards. He is not shooting by his standard, but he gets somehow lucky. Is somehow lucky. Imebadilishwa, angalia. Ladies and gentlemen, for your information, it's not Patrick Gadua, it's Peter Gadua. Sorry, it's Peter Gadua. It's Peter Gadua. Yeah. Wanna change? And Peter Gadua, Peter Gadua is shooting some good pull, but as I have said, his positional play is quite wanting. His positional play is quite wanting, but his ability to pot the balls is getting him over the line. But you cannot be relying on just potting. In this type of games, you need to be on your A game, the positional play, the white ball control, mental toughness. You will need all that to overcome your opponents. At times, one component is not all you need, is not enough. And as you see, Regan Ongombe is starting to shoot, but still not his usual self. Not his usual self. Timu yako ni ya saa ngapi? Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Mchana Unplugged happening right here at Mchana Pub and Grill. And Regan Ongombe getting used to, or he's now being accustomed to missing shots. And Peter Gadua equally returning the favor. Oh, whoa, whoa. Regan will need some good shooting. He'll need a lot of those. He's been shooting below his usual standards. And it's a good pot from Regan. That's what we know Regan can do. And he's got the black easiest of pots. Regan posts the black for the second time, and he seems to be getting his groove back. It's Regan Ogombe 2, Peter Gadhua 2. Ladies and gentlemen, Regan is starting to get his groove back. Ladies and gentlemen, this is frame number 5. Frame number 5, and it's Peter Gadhua to break. And after all the early mishaps from Regan, and he seems to be getting his groove back. And Ref is not doing himself any favor now, as he's letting him back into the game, which should be a dangerous thing. Playing a player of Regan's caliber, you need to be very careful. Regan opts for the reds. Joseph. I would love to see how Regan will go about the business with that red ball that is his problem ball next to the black ball. I'm meant to believe he'd be ribbing the two reds together so that he can go in off the white ball. And every player seems to have his own pattern of play. And Peter Gadhua seems to have slowed down. Seems to have slowed down. He seemed to be out of sorts now. The honor is back to Regan Ongombe, but he still has one problem ball next to the black ball. And he misses the pot, trying to open up that red ball. But with the confidence Peter Gadhua is displaying now, let us see what he can do. I can say Peter Gadhua's spotting ability is quite good, but cue ball manipulation is somehow wanting. He gets good position of play. He will need a good shot here. He gets one. And by his standards, he should be able to clear this one. So use natural white. Nothing fancy needed. Exactly. Peter Gadua on the black. And Peter Gadua misses the black. Ladies and gentlemen, what are we watching? What are we watching? Peter Gadua seems to be under all sorts of trouble. He's handing frames back to Regan Ongombe. Ladies and gentlemen, with Regan's quality, this should be game over. It's natural white, nothing fancy needed. It's just pot, pot, pot. And Peter Gadua should be asking himself a lot of questions. It's an easy black for Regan, who seems to be benefiting on Gadua's mistakes. And just like that, Regan gains the lead for the first time in this match. It is Regan 3, Murefu 2. After Murefu winning the first 2 frames, Regan goes on to win 3 in a row. It's Regan 3, Peter Gadua aka Murefu 2. It's a race to 5, ladies and gentlemen. Regan breaking frame number 6. Regan breaks, and it's a foul break, ladies and gentlemen. My. It's a foul break. It's 2 visits from Refu from the onset. Mrefu opts for the yellows and he pots the yellows. And as I said, Murefu's positional play is wanting by a mile. But his ability to pot, as most would say, is a killer project. His positional play is wanting. Regan shooting some good ball. He seems to have regained his confidence by the frames that he's won. And he's a dangerous player when he's on his A game. He can really shoot some good pool. These are 2 players from different counties. And Regan is now shooting some good pool. He's playing by standards now. Wow. He hands the honors back to Mrefu. Mrefu pots. And as we all said, he missed the shot because of his poor positional play. You can't be handing away frames when you're in position to win them. I'm meant to believe Regan will punish all these mistakes that he's making. And Regan, by standards also, not good positional play from Regan too. And he misses a pot on the center pocket. And Mrefu now is on the ropes. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, the tournament is ongoing. This is match of round 128, dubbed as the second round. And it seems luck has evaded Mrefu and gone back to Regan. It's Regan 4, Mrefu 2. And Regan hasn't done much in this match, but is still leading and needing one frame to get over the line. Mrefu will have to be at his best to win 3 frames in a row. It's Regan 4, Mrefu 2, and we must admit that Regan hasn't had his best of frames or his game. The game has still been below par, going by the standards we all know he can produce. It's Regan from Kisumu taking on Peter Gadhua aka Mrefu from Nakuru. Good to see Doreen Wandia in the house. KPBF Vice President. Is in the house, fresh from his visit of Mauritius, China, Russia, just to name but a few. And back to the table, Mrefu is threatening to give us a green apple. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That is another let-off. Another let-off from Peter Gadhua, aka Mrefu. And his body language showing early signs of giving up. Let's see what pattern Regan chooses. Regan seems to be shooting some good pool now. Seems to be getting his groove back just when he needed it and at the right time. Lovely shot, lovely shot. Now the difference between these two players, you can see, is positional play, game reading, pattern play. Regan seems to be way much ahead of Peter Gadua. We've seen Peter Gadua throwing away frames that he should have won, not just one or two. Whoa. Regan misses a sum out. Straightforward pot. And Mrefu has another chance to redeem himself and reduce the deficit. Plays a very good shot. Wow, what a shot by Mrefu. Good positional play. Wouldn't ask for more. Let us see what he'll do with that shot. Mrefu on the black. And Mrefu pots the black. He reduces the deficit to 4 frames to 3. And you can see Regan. Whoa, whoa. It's Regan 4, Mrefu 3. This is the Mchana plugged pool tournament happening right here at Mchana Pub and Grill, the home of pool and champions. Regan to break frame number 8. It's a race to 5. Regan breaks and Regan pots. Still open table. This is round number 2. 128 players. 64 will go out. 64 will remain. It is Regan Ongombe from Kisumu taking on Peter Gadua from Nakuru. It's a battle of the counties, and Regan misses a red to hand over the honors to Peter Gadua. Peter Gadua opts for the reds, and Peter Gadua is playing the reds. Let's see what he can do. Will he win this and give us, oh my God, that is a wonderful pot from Peter Gadua. It's a good shot, and yet it has opened up the game for him. Another good pot. He will need one good shot to clear this frame. And this is what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. His positional play is wanting. His positional play is wanting. What has been bailing him out is his ability to pot the balls. And he has snookered himself. But he has an easy angle of going for the black. And he will need this frame. Otherwise, he'll be packing his belonging and heading back to Nakuru. Regan Ongombe, mrefu scratches and hands the honors back to Regan Ongombe. Regan Potts. Not a good shot by Regan, but let's see. Let's see what pattern of play is choosing. Regan Potts, that's a good pot, but not a convincing one, not a good positional play for him, from him rather. It's another good pot. Good to see Joshua fresh from his thrashing from Ishmael Mutetwa from South Africa. Another good pot from Regan. And on table next, on the TV table number 5, we have an all Mchana derby. Alpha Wigwa taking on Trevor Muyu. And Regan with another good pot. He will need another good shot on this one. It's a tricky shot, and he needs to manipulate the white ball. Let's see what he can do. He's capable of putting that ball, but under these circumstances, he can also not get the best of the white balls. And like we all said, he hands back the honors to Mrefu. Let's see if Mrefu will take us to a decider, or he'll be packing his bag, going back to Nakuru. It's Mrefu on the black. Mrefu, oh my God. Mrefu plays, and they say when Lady Luck departs, all hell must break loose. And these two guys are serving us Regan falls and Regan wins. It's Regan 5, Mrefu 3, and Regan proceeds to round number 64. Round number 3 of 64 players. Pole sana Mrefu, better luck next time. That was a Mickey Mouse sort of match. Regan not playing to his strength and his levels, but he still manages to get through. That is what top players do. Despite you having a bad match, you manage to go through.